Good morning from me and little buddy. We're getting ready to give you another garden tour. I'm going to try to give at least maybe one garden tour a week, hopefully. We'll start with our mums out here. They're looking good. Mandevella's growing like crazy. Still no blooms. Clematis is growing like crazy. And it blooms off and on all the time. And no blooms on this yet. It's really windy today. But it's huge. I mean, I can't complain about how it's grown. It's really grown tremendously since the weather cooled off. And look at this, tomato plant. In December, I've got tomato plants in December. And the clematis is growing all over it. And I still have a tomato plant over here in this pot with the hollyhocks. Look at that, it's huge. I just wish it would bloom. I want to see a bloom on this thing. Don't we, little buddy? We want to see a bloom on this. I mean, that is a big half-barrel pot. And you can see I had knocked a hole in it right there where it's got plastic inside to cover the hole up. It was sitting on the ground and I hit it with the mower. The string knocked a hole in it. That's the reason I end up putting rocks around my pots and stuff, because I don't want to knock a hole in it with my pots. I mean, my lawnmower. And my little marigolds are growing. I don't know why this mum did not come back. And you can see my rose bush is still okay right there. Out in my little deer land and unicorn land. And look at that. Have you ever seen a white rose in December? Isn't that pretty? I thought it was supposed to be yellow, but it looks more white than yellow. And I think that's pretty. Never had white roses in December before, not in the yard. Or pink ones. Christmas is breaking out all over. Look at this. I don't know. You reckon all my plants are going to survive the winter? I mean, look at my bell peppers. The plants are still thriving. They're trying to produce. I've still got tomato plants. I got to plant something in these buckets. I do have some greens in that one, the top one. But all my pepper plants here are still alive, and my greens. I've even got a squash plant. Look at there, it's still half alive. Pepper plants, look at that. I mean, this is unreal. I've never had pepper plants in December before. Look at that. Almost as tall as I am. And all these tomato plants. Oh my goodness, if they survive the winter, they're going to take off when it turns warmer weather. Look at there. It's still putting out blooms to put out peppers. My ginger. Look at there, all the tomato plants still alive over here. And they're looking good. I mean, they're laid over, growing like a vine, but they look good. My Egyptian onions. And look at there. I have got a squash coming on. That squash plant in December. My marigolds. I got to save seeds from this because I love this marigold. That is a pretty marigold right there. I love it when it's two-tone color like that. There's another pepper. And my tomato plant, look at that. Look at that tomato plant. My clematis growing up the vine. Up the trellis. And it's putting out little flowers. I got marigolds down there. But look at the tomato plant. Have you ever? And the marigolds growing out of the blocks. And I never did cut down that tomatillo plant, which I should probably have done. Now that tomato plant got a little chilly. Look at that. I don't think they'll live much longer, but it's amazing that they're still living right now and they're putting out little tomatoes. Look at this. They're putting out little tomatoes. Look at the little green tomatoes. Those are grape tomatoes. Look at them. It's full of little green tomatoes. My pepper. Look there. Tomatoes are just blooming like crazy to put out new little tomatoes. I'm still waiting on that to ripen up. Don't have as much growing in these little blocks as I did the ones over there. And my beets, yeah, I never did harvest my beets yet. I'm just leaving them till the last minute. Peppers. That tomato plant give up because it don't like the cold. Beets. And look at there. You see that tomato in the middle of the screen? That's a green tomato on that plant. And at the top of it, it's got more blooms. It's trying its best to put me out some tomatoes. It's a little pepper. Not very big, but it's a pepper. Tomato plant there. My collards are looking pretty good. I broke those off and I'm rooting new ones. I started out with 2 of them. And all of these over here are the cuttings that I put down to root and start new ones. Those are my Jolly Green tree collards. So I'll have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 Jolly Green tree collards from just one that I started. And they're pretty expensive too when you order them. My greens, my walking onions, my tomatoes, look at that. I've got green tomatoes out here. And I got peppers, look at that. More peppers. Look at that. Look at those tomatoes. I can't believe I've actually got green tomatoes in December. Can you imagine? My bell peppers. More tomatoes. I've never had my tomato plants live this late in the year. I'm tickled to death. Look at there. There's another pepper. See why I don't want to pull my plants up? Because until they freeze and die, they will produce fruit for you. Look at that down there. 2 little yellow squash. I mean, they may not get very big, but it's putting out a little squash. Oh my goodness. Look down there. You see between the tote? Look at that tomato. Can you see that tomato? That's a pretty good sized tomato over there. Yeah, and I never have cut my asparagus back. I need to do that. And there goes a pepper. Yeah, these plants here are getting a little cold hurt, but they're still putting out peppers. Look at that. And my okra stalk, it's still alive. So I'm leaving it, and I got 2 eggplants right there. This one and this one. And if it survives all winter, it'll start growing eggplant in the warmer weather. And look at that. More bell peppers. Bell pepper there. There's bell pepper back here. Look at that. In December, y'all. I can't believe it. Let's go around here and see if we see any more. And look at this. I've got volunteer marigolds. I need to get those pulled up and put them over in the little blocks. Look at that. Look at that tomato. I cannot believe it. Look at that. That's one of those slicing tomatoes. I don't know how big it'll manage to get, but it's still growing right now. Yeah, let's pull these up. And we can put them over there in our blocks. Oh, I broke it off. I think we got some marigolds in here too. I can pull those up. They'll have a better chance of growing if I put them in the blocks than they do out here. They don't get enough sun down in that hole. So I got a handful. Got a handful of them. I can put some down in these blocks that don't have anything growing. See, I broke that one off, but I'm going to put the root down. Hopefully the root will grow and come up with another plant. And I'm going to stick that in there too. It might root for me, I don't know. And then I've got this one. I'm going to stick it right down here. So I think they'll grow pretty good right there. They get some sun during the day, and those were empty blocks. And I need to put something over here in these blocks. They're too empty. Yeah, maybe if I find some more marigolds growing, I'll pull them up and stick them over here. Yeah, so far there's only like one marigold in each pot, so, or each hole. Pull some grass out. Yeah, the grass will take over. There. And look at those. My peppers are still trying to produce here. There's a little pepper right there. And I've got garlic chives. Greens growing in there with garlic chives. And that's I think a Brussels sprout. And look at that foot-long bean or noodle bean plant. It's not producing anything, but look at the plant. And there's some greens I planted in there, and in here, and there. But look at that. Oh, it's trying to look. That's 2 pods that's going to put out a bean. So it's getting ready to put out some foot-long beans, noodle beans for me. And who would have thought I'd have had these beans in December? And look at that. Bell pepper. I got peppers on this one. I got greens growing there. And I'm not sure if that was Brussels sprouts or what that was, but it's one of the greens. It's really growing now. See, I still got a tomato plant in there and a pepper plant. My onions, garlic chives there with the okra, my peppermint, my roses. Look at those. Roses in December. Can you imagine? Roses in December. It rained yesterday, so they're all wet. And some of them are kind of sagging down from the weight of the water. And I haven't cut my okra plants back. And there's a red Swiss chard. And I got greens growing in here. Got some growing in there, but they don't look too good since I harvested them the other day. Oh my goodness, my lid disappeared here. I'm gonna have to get the wind must have blew it off. I don't know where it went. Still got a bell pepper on that one, even though the plant looks terrible. And there's my Egyptian walking onions. Look how much they've come up. They're up a couple of inches. About 3 or 4 inches, most of them are. So Egyptian walking onions are real easy to grow. Once you buy them, and if you leave them from one year to the next without pulling all the bulbs up, they'll put you out new bulbs to plant. So you'll never have to buy any more of them, and you'll always have plenty of onions. And there's my Swiss chard and greens. My Swiss chard. See, it's coming back pretty since I cut it back the other day. You know, we harvested a bunch. And there I got Egyptian walking onions coming up in here. I guess you can see that. They're up a couple of inches. I don't have much of nothing in there, but I had a sunflower that has fallen over. I need to harvest the seeds out of that, though, when I can. There's another sunflower. I don't know if it's like the big one over there or not, but if it is, it's going to be beautiful. There's my lettuce. Yeah, and I'm about ready to harvest me a salad off of that. My Swiss chard. Look at all of the compost tea in these buckets from the rain that went in my tubs. There's another green. Yeah, I got a marigold over there. My greens, sunflower. But yeah, when it rains, look at that. It makes compost tea for you. And I think I see the plastic that came off of that bucket. I'm going to go over here and get it. Put it back on there. That was some strong wind to blow, because I had a cord tied around it to keep it secured so that it wouldn't blow off. But it blew off anyway. So we'll get it put back on. And it looks like this one was about to blow off. I need to get a new cord on there. Those are stretched. That may have been what was wrong with this one. But it's a whole bucket full of compost tea. Let me get this camera down. So I can try to get this put back on. There's the cord I had on it. Sometimes these little bungee cords get stretched out. That's what happened. The bungee cord got stretched out. It's getting ready to break, really. Whoop, it did break. I gotta get me a cord. That one broke too. See, the little bungee cords don't last a whole long time. I don't know if I can get this untied and tie it back. But I can put these little hooks on the end of it, even though this cord don't stretch. And I can hook a bungee cord to it and get these untied. It's getting in the water or in the tea. Put these right down in there. Get it in there. There. I'm not very good with knots. But I don't want to waste any more of this cord than I can because I want it as long as possible. Oh, come on. I hear the mailman. Oh, I didn't pull enough through. Do a fishing knot on it. Fishing knot will work. Need some more of this cord. but it's not going to go all the way around. So I need to find me another piece of cord somewhere. I don't know where there is anymore. I think I took most of it in the house. I'll have to go in there and get a piece. But look at there. And some of my people say that looks like strawberry plants. I don't know what that is. I put strawberry seeds out, but I don't know if that's strawberries or not. We'll wait and see. And there's my Swiss chard growing in there. And these buckets. And there's that big sunflower. Look at that. They're all getting ready to open. Get over here and see this big sunflower. Look at that. It's got a butterfly in there. Isn't that pretty? And all of those are opening below it. Look at that. I don't think I've ever had one like this before. But it's going to have sunflowers opened all along the stem. All the way. I've never had one like that before. They always usually just open at the top and put out a bunch at the top, great big ones, and then nothing down the rest of it. But I am going to definitely save some of these seeds and plant more of these for sure for next year. The Swiss chard here. Here in my buckets. That pepper plant's still alive, but I got Swiss chard over here. Look at there at the marigolds. I wonder if there's any more of this cord up on this gazebo that I could swipe, that I could steal. Nope, it looks like I took it all down. But I got marigolds here. I got my beautiful rose bush that survived. That's one that we rooted. That big one. This little one never has come back out, so I have my doubts about it. I don't know. Even though one section of it looks like it's still alive, it's not put out anymore. I mean, this part right here looks like it still might be alive. So I'm not pulling it up. I'm going to wait till the spring and see what it does. My irises. Those irises ought to be beautiful this spring because they've not died back yet. Usually the cold kills it and it's flat to the ground. There's no green. And this year they haven't done that. They've stayed alive. That rose bush. And look at the little rose bush here that came back from the root that I thought was gone. My pineapple bush or tree. I've yet to see the flowers. Peppermint. And there goes that planter that I got the other day that we put together. I still don't know where I'm going to put it yet. But there's my plants there. They're still alive. I don't know how it rained as much as it did yesterday, and the trays don't have water in them. That's kind of unusual. There's my Swiss chard there in that bucket, or that big half barrel. And there's that one wildflower that I really want to get seeds to. I don't know if that's dried enough yet. Probably not. But I got to do something where I had these rose bushes last year that didn't make it through the dry heat this summer. And I'm not sure if I want to go ahead and replace the rose bushes or exactly what I want to do with them yet. I may replace the rose bushes. If I can get some more rooted, I might replace them. I don't know. And look at there, a squirrel tried to go up to the feeder because he had the tool pushed down. My moonflowers are still alive. See, they don't grow too good on this side because it gets too much shade, I guess. But where they get the sun around here, they grow, like right there. Those are moonflowers come up. They don't like the shade, though. They love it in the sunshine. See, I got some in the pots. I even got a little one coming up back there. That way, almost in the middle of the screen. All of these are moonflowers. And I got a marigold down there. Look at that. I got a marigold. I'm surely going to get seeds off of my marigold plants this year. And here's my greens out here. That moonflower's given up for the year, looks like. But the marigolds out here are living good. And that mum is trying to come back. You can see the mum is trying to come back to life down there. It's putting out new growth. Oh. So we'll see what happens. My crepe myrtle is still living. I think it'll be all right. It's going to help shade my carport when it gets bigger. Check my mailbox. I know the mailman stopped. See if he left me anything good. Probably not, just a bunch of bills. But see how that flower, and I don't remember the name of it, but it comes up every year and it's spreading, and I'm just going to let it spread through the rock garden. Because that's the one thing I found that will live here. Even when my poor rose bush died. I'll have to get that rose bush out of there. And just let those other plants, I think, live there and move my pot somewhere else. What a crepe myrtle there. And my rose bush there survived. It's even blooming. Look at that. I cut it back right to the ground almost. And now it's putting out new growth. And that one's trying to put out new flowers. I need to probably cut it back all the way to the ground almost. Moonflowers there. It's got a big pod right there I need to get off pretty soon when I see it split open. There's my tomato plant still surviving right here. And look, it's still putting out tomatoes. Not many at a time, but I guess enough to go in a salad. My greens. And that volunteer tomato plant that came up here is still alive. And look at that. It's got blooms at the top. It's going to try to make some tomatoes. In December, y'all. Have you ever? Well, I think I'm going to go in the house and I'm going to try to come up with another piece of cord to go ahead and put that plastic cover back on that compost tea bucket. And I'll see y'all on my next one. Y'all have a blessed day.